So here in Photoshop, I have layers that make up the word logo, and I'm gonna save this as PSD and go to After Effects. Now it's important to have every shape on a separate layer so that I can use it in After Effects. So when I go to After Effects, I'm gonna double click here to import that. And the important thing is not to get it as a footage, because if you get it as a footage, you're just gonna have it as one single object. But if you import it as a composition, you're gonna be able to edit and animate different layers independently. So I'll press OK, and there I have it. All right. So now what I need to do is actually create a new composition out of this one. I can either drag it down here. The important thing though is to actually put these inside my composition, the layers, so that I can play with them the way I like. Now I have duplicates here, so I'll delete the ones that I don't need, and these are my individual layers. So the first thing I can do is actually turn them on and off. And now I need to start to animate them. Now last time we saw how to actually play with the opacity to create a fade in, fade out effect. Now today we're gonna do that automatically, because it will take me some time. Let's say that I had 20 layers. It will take me some time to go and do them one by one. I will show you a shortcut though, and then I will do them automatically. The shortcut is to actually, let's lock the background because we don't want to animate this, so I'm going to lock it from here. And these are the shapes. I'm going to press Shift to select all 4 of them. Whenever I do that, I have the possibility to scale them all at once, like that, because all of them were selected. So let's go over here. If I open one of them and go to Transform and check a keyframe for opacity, all of them will have a keyframe for opacity because all of them are selected. So if I pressed U, I would actually get the animated parameters of all these selected layers. So let's actually set the opacity by default to 0. So now they're transparent. So we'll shift the time a little bit. Let's increase the time a bit more. Let's go a bit less than 1 second, 16 frames, and up the opacity to 100. So now all of them are actually fading in. Then I'll go here to around 3 seconds, and this is where I add a keyframe. So all of them will have the keyframe added because all of them are selected. And then towards the end, I'll set the opacity for all of them to 0%. So now I have a fade in, fade out effect. But the good thing is that they were all selected and it happens to all of them at the same time. So now all I have to do actually is sequence them out manually. So that's the first one. I'll take the second one and place it, say, here. So you see that you have overlap for the keyframes. I take the third and place it there. And then I'll take the fourth. Alright, I need more time for my composition. So I go to Composition and Composition Settings. I'll increase that time from 10, say, to 15 seconds. And then I'll stretch this out so that I have more time. And there is the last one of them. So if I wanted to preview, I press 0. And that would be the fade in, fade out. Of course, they're disappearing at the end because I created 2 keyframes where they disappear at the end. So the first time you preview, they play by calculation, but the second time, it's in real-time playback. So let's say that I didn't want them to disappear at the end. Alright, let's stop the playback. I would delete the last 2 keyframes from each, like this. And I'll extend the background. It's locked, so I need to unlock it from here. I'll extend the background, and I'll extend all of them actually so that they stay till the end. And now they will play with the fade in effect. So 0, And that's my animation. So that's the manual way of doing things. Now we're going to see how we can do that automatically. So I'm going to select all of them like this by pressing Control, and I'll expand and actually remove the stopwatch from the opacity, and that way all of them will lose their animation. Alright, I can also press reset and they will get back to an opacity of 100. Alright, I still have to, however, bring in their time like this to the beginning. Alright, so how do I sequence them out automatically? I'll select 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, actually I should reset all of them so that they are visible. Alright, so now that they are selected, I right click here and I choose Keyframe Assistant and Sequence Layers. So whichever layers are selected will be automatically sequenced. Now here, the transition, I'm going to choose, if I choose no transition, they'll just be shifted in time without any fading effect. What I need is to dissolve the front layer. For example, shape 2 here, the front layer of that would be shape 3. So dissolve means fade. And the overlap duration is going to be 15 frames in this case. I can change that if I like. If I press OK, these layers will be shifted in time so that the overlap is going to be 15 frames. So if I scrub the time here, I'm going to have an overlap here of 15 frames, and then I'll start the second one, and then the third one, and so forth. Now, of course, I need more time for them, but otherwise, this is how you can sequence automatically layers with automatic overlapping and fading effects.